game-winning shot in that game just for a little bit of excitement there. So now, moving on, moving on to the final topic of the day, and it's looking towards the future. So I wish I could say the future looks bright for this team, but just looking at the roster they have, the recruits they have, everything about this team, I don't think it looks that good for them. I mean, currently the Huskies have two seniors, Quade Green and Hamir Wright. Both those guys are key contributors right now, with Green averaging 30 minutes a game and Wright averaging 25 minutes per game. Now, those are two guys that the Huskies are going to have to figure out not only how to replace their minutes, but also, especially with Green, their production. And I don't think there's one guy on this Husky team or that will be on this Husky team next year that is able to replace Green's production on the offensive end. And he's also a fine defender as well. So unless the Huskies get some great grad transfer or some transfer that can replace Green, it's going to be tough next season for the Huskies as a whole. I think the loss of Green is going to be absolutely huge. As far as young guys, maybe you're hoping, okay, well, maybe the Huskies have a sophomore or freshman who has looked great so far and can develop into something. That's not really something I've seen. I mean, you look at the only two possible, in my opinion, at this moment from their games as a freshman and the games so far as sophomores are Marcus Sahonis and Raekwon Battle, as they're both sophomores this year and they've both gotten some playing time. Battle's gotten about 19 minutes per game. He had that great game against Oregon, but other than that, it hasn't been that exciting. Sahonis is not able to get on the court that often. He's getting only about 10 minutes per game. Played in 6 of the 8 games, I believe, Sahonis has. And watching these guys play both from this year and last year, I don't really see them developing into something super special that will be a game changer or will factor huge into this team next season and in the seasons beyond. Looking at Battle, he's not the most talented defender by any means. And on offense, where he was thought of being kind of a sharpshooter, kind of a great scorer, he hasn't had that type of impact through a year and a quarter, I guess you could say. This season, he's shooting 29% from the field goal and only 23% from behind the three-point line. Like everyone else on this team, he's been unable to make shots for whatever reason. And looking from last year, it's not like he's having a huge off year. Last year, he shot 33% from the field, so 4% higher, and 27% from behind the three-point line, so 4% higher again. So he had better percentages, but still, those are not percentages you want to see. 33% is by no means a good field goal percentage. You want that in the 40s, maybe low 50s. And 27% from the three-point line for someone who's supposed to be a three-point shooter, that's not good at all. You want high 30s, low 40s again there. So now looking at Sahonis, last year he kind of got thrust into the starting lineup and into the lineup due to Green's suspension. And he had some good moments. He especially shot very well. I mean, he had a 42% field goal percentage, 41% from the three. But again, he struggled this year to get playing time and fight his way onto the lineup due to the Huskies having Green and then the Nate Pryor, a transfer on their team this year, who's playing over him in his minutes. So also in the 6 of the 8 games, he's played 6 of the 8 games Sahonis has, and he's averaged only 10 minutes per game. And his shooting percentages from last year when he was a freshman, I mentioned they were 42% and 41% last year. This year, they're only 28% from the field goal and 33% from three. And part of that is he hasn't gotten many shots. I think he shot 15 times, 6 three-pointers. So he hasn't had a lot of shots because he hasn't been able to get on the court. He hasn't, I guess, earned the opportunity in practice. They've been playing Nate Pryor over him. So these really are the two best young players on the Husky basketball team. And they haven't really shown anything that would make me excited about next year and year beyond for them. Now, getting into the class of 2021 recruits for people to be excited for maybe. it's nothing to be excited about. It's only slightly better than their class of 2020, I guess. When as in the class of 2021, they currently have one player signed, and that's four-star prospect Jackson Grant out of Olympia, Washington. However, he's really unlikely that he'll be able to make an immediate impact at all on this Husky team. He's listed as a center, but he's only 6 foot 9 inches tall and weighs only 205 pounds. So he's likely going to have to put on a lot of muscle and weight if he wants to be an effective center in college basketball. Otherwise, he won't be able to get on the court as a center because he'll just be pushed around by the opposing team and the opposing players. So with all these factors, I mean, they don't have very good recruiting. They don't have any really young stars on their team right now. I don't think the future's that bright for this Husky basketball team. I think there's going to be a few more years like this unless they start getting some top recruits coming in. So